Hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. So excited you're here because we're talking about week 1 of Old School April. It's gonna be a wrap-up style video, not vlog style this time because, I just moved. It's a disaster here. I have boxes everywhere. It's a miracle. I have the bookshelves up. This is like one of the very first things I set up. Wasn't able to do a video last week because I had to wait for help to get them all actually, like the bookshelves themselves leveled and everything. Long story. I'll give you a moving update at the end of the video for those of you who are interested. But first we'll get into the Old School April stuff. Yeah, I wasn't able to get a lot of clips because of moving and everything being a disaster. I just didn't want mess all over in the video. So this week is going to be pretty short. I'm just going to tell you guys what I did. I'm just going to tell you what I did instead of having a lot of clips. Next week will be more fun. It'll be more interesting. But for now, I'm just going to explain to you what I did. First of all, we will start with what I watched. I ended up watching 14 Old School April content videos, like vlogs, from various people that have YouTube videos. I ended up watching 14 of those. Stuff that I would have been watching anyways, but now I'll get points for it. I love that prompt was added because those are things that I would have been spending my time on anyways. Excellent. I love them because it gives me ideas for other things I want to read, and there were a lot of really good book suggestions. Now, movies and shows that I watched. So there's a movie that my friends and I were very excited about. I remember because I think I was around 13 maybe, I can't remember. I want to say I was around 13. And I remember my friends, they were sisters and they lived maybe 3 to 5 minutes from me. We were very close. We lived very close together, which was funny because I lived in the country. I lived in the country, and they said, "Oh, we got this movie. We're so excited. We have this movie. It just came out. We really want to watch it." So we planned this sleepover, and the movie is called Together, like two, the number 2, together. And it's sort of a parody making fun of boy bands. Which, we were into boy bands, but it was still funny. We still wanted to watch it. And I don't know, it's one of those I really had a hard time finding to watch, but I knew I wanted to watch it because just for nostalgia reasons, because I remembered watching it with them. I remember laughing about it. So I found it on YouTube, actually. That's the only place I could find it. I looked everywhere else. It's one of those I really would like to have a DVD of, actually, but I couldn't find it. I just remember watching it in they had bunk beds, and I remember watching it in their room. We had popcorn. We weren't supposed to have it. But I remember having popcorn and watching movie and just laughing hysterically because it was so funny. And there's one line in particular that we would always quote, and I'm going to put that here. I'm going to put a little clip here. This is the clip we would always quote.
I have this dream that I don't tell many people about. That's so deceiving. I'm going to get one too because I plan to make a buttload of money with this.
A buttload? How much is a buttload?
$1,000. I based it on the fact that one time I fit $5 up my butt. And, well, not to brag or nothing, but I think that I could fit way more up there. Way more. Easy.
So funny. It would just be random. We would just be at school or wherever, and we would just randomly quote that line just for no reason. We just quote it. It's so funny, so hilarious. But yeah, there are a lot of really good lines in that movie. So it's very silly. It's just really funny, but it just has such nostalgia to me just because I remember us being so excited about it and just staying up really late and watching movies. We watched other movies that night, but that's the one that stood out to me. So I knew I had to watch it. Then I watched Home Improvement because right now all we have is Netflix, and this is one that I knew I could watch there without spending money on another subscription service, and it's one that I could watch even when my kids are up, so I could just binge it and I could just have it on. And I really love their Halloween episodes especially, so I get really excited when one of them comes around. I ended up watching 28 episodes, I believe, of Home Improvement. And that's another one I remember watching because I had a major crush on Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Zachary Ty Bryan. And I had a poster of Jonathan Taylor Thomas in my locker when I was in, I think it was the 4th grade. But I was really young. But I remember having a poster of him in my locker. And it's so funny thinking about it now. I didn't even realize I was in the 4th grade when I had that poster. But I'm constantly telling my daughter, aren't you a little young to be this boy crazy? Because she's constantly talking about boys. And I broke up with this boy because he had a crush on my friend, or I broke up with this boy because, you know, this reason, oh, he's my ex now. And I'm like, you have exes? You are 9. Why do you have exes? And then I was watching Home Improvement and I got to thinking, I'm like, oh, I had a poster of this boy in my locker. And I remember being in the 4th grade because my friends all wanted this poster. And she's in the 4th grade. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's not too young to have crushes. So funny. But yeah, I've been watching that a lot. If you have any suggestions I want to watch on Netflix specifically, let me know. Because I'm really trying to avoid getting another streaming service right now. And then I watched, there was a curveball posted from Crystal with Fiber Artsy. So I did actually get to do the curveball. Other than that, I did have one nostalgic snack, and that was Pop-Tarts. They were, was it strawberry? I think I had the strawberry ones because I have like a variety pack of them. Let me get into what I read. I didn't get to read as much nostalgic things as I wanted to the first week because I'm still getting caught up from March because of moving. But, and actually week 1 I read more than I expected to because I figured with moving and unpacking, it was going to be one of those I would get to read maybe 1 book, but I actually got to read 3. I kind of just needed to unwind, and I forced myself to kind of relax a little bit, especially in the evenings. So I actually did get to read 3 books. It's a miracle, but I'm getting caught up for March. I had a bunch of arcs that I was trying to get to, and I didn't get to all of them in March. So 2 of them rolled over into April, which is fine. And then I did get to read 1 nostalgic book in the first week. The first one I read was The Treasure Hunters Club by Tom Ryan. This is a sort of a cozy mystery. It's set in a coastal town in Nova Scotia. And I had a lot of fun with this. I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to, actually. And it was full of surprises, and actually got even a little darker than I expected to in a cozy mystery. There are 3 different points of view, and then there are journal entry chapters as well that kind of have glimpses into the past. So, you know, the 3 different points of view are from 3 strangers whose paths, you know, they sort of merge together based on this mystery of this treasure. One of the strangers is Cass. She's at sort of a crossroads in her life. You know, she doesn't know what to do next. She's sort of unhappy. She's unhappy with her career. She's unhappy where she is in her life. And then she gets this phone call from her dead father's best friend, and he needs her to house sit. She's going to be going to this town in Nova Scotia to house sit. And she's also in the process of writing a book. So that is her story. And then the second person is Peter. And Peter is also unhappy with his life. He's about to turn 40. He's kind of at a dead end. You know, he feels like he's at this dead end with his career. And, you know, he's living with this roommate. He doesn't have his own place, and he's just not really happy with where he is. He gets this letter from this aunt. She's in her 90s. He doesn't even know about her, really. And but he gets this letter one day from this aunt, and she says that she's discovered something, and she invites him to live with her in this great big mansion in this town. And so he decides, hey, I don't have anything to lose. I'm not happy where I am. So he decides to go there as well. The final one is Dandy. Dandy is a 17-year-old. She actually lives in the town, this coastal town, and she's recently lost her grandfather. She's very close with her grandfather, and her grandfather's left her some clues. So all 3 of these strangers are now sort of connected to this mystery of this treasure that is hundreds, you know, a couple hundred years old. Yeah, that's all I can really say about the plot, but it was really fun. There are all these clues, and you're trying to figure out how all these things are connected, and you know how their paths are going to converge, and how these things are going to come together. And yeah, it came together really well. I thought it was very smart, and there's some twists that I didn't see coming. I never would have expected, blew me away, because usually with cozy mysteries I can usually figure them out. This one I did not. I had no idea. It like left my jaw on the floor. Had no freaking clue. My favorite character was Dandy. She's really fun, and she's sort of this quirky you know, doesn't care what anybody thinks of her. She's unapologetically herself. I thought she was a lot of fun. I mean, is she 100% believable? No, but this is just a cozy mystery. It's supposed to be fun. I really enjoyed it. I only had one complaint about this, and that's the one, Peter's gay, and the way that was announced was really weird. I don't always notice things like that, but that one sort of hit me in the face. Like it just hit me wrong. You know what I mean? Like I didn't like the way he was announced. It was just like, oh, he's gay. Like, there's so many other ways that could have been presented. And then also the one black character, the way that was presented was really weird too. That was sort of just kind of announced also. I don't know, that didn't sit well with me either. I don't think it was intentional on the author's part. I really don't. I think it's just, I've seen that in other books. I don't think it's intentional at all. I just think it's, I don't know, just not knowing how to handle those things maybe. I wouldn't completely dismiss this author for that, but it was just like, I feel like those things could have been handled a lot differently. Would I still recommend this book? Absolutely. It was a lot of fun. Those two things just like could have been handled differently, but I would still recommend it. I still had a lot of fun with it, but those two things, I couldn't give it a higher rating because of that, but I still really enjoyed it. So I still would have given it probably 4 stars just because I still had a good time with it. Next one I read was Sky Daddy by Kate Folk. Really wanted to read this before the release date, which it is out now. It was released on April 8th. So that's why I kind of pushed this into week 1. I freaking loved this book so much. This was easily a 5-star. I am obsessed with this book. It's obviously not horror. No spooky aspects to this. It's like weird lit. It's literary fiction, but you want something a little different, a little quirky. I would suggest picking this up. It's definitely weird. There's humor. It's somehow heartwarming and oddly relatable. Somehow I could relate to this main character. She calls herself a misfit. She's lonely. Loneliness was a big theme in this. She's definitely lonely. She's definitely sort of an outcast. And let me back up a little bit. Linda is the main character. She's absolutely fascinating. She just happens to have an interesting kink, and that is she is sexually aroused by airplanes. And I mean, to the point, it's an obsession. She really leans into this obsession. You know, she is just waiting for the day one of these planes chooses her as his soulmate. How will she know that she's been chosen? Well, by dying in a plane crash, which will unite her with her soulmate for all eternity. So, yeah, and I say he because apparently all planes are he's. There's so much more depth to this than just her obsession with airplanes. So much more. There's female friendship. Female friendship is a huge theme in this. I love the friendship in here between her and Karina, her co-worker. And there's also themes, of course, of loneliness, like I said, and acceptance, like just wanting to be accepted for who you are. There was also an unexpected element in here that I thought really worked with the plot. And I'm not going to say in case of spoilers, because it's not listed on the back and I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I really liked that other element that really tied it all together. While Linda is a bit odd, she's also really endearing. She does try to hide her obsession with airplanes. She'll tell people that she likes to travel. She tries really hard to hide her obsession. She tries to hide how much she loves airplanes. Aside from that, she's unapologetically herself. Almost, she's honest, almost a little too honest, almost naively so. You know what I mean? Like she just lays it out there. But I really loved getting to know her character. I love seeing her evolve throughout the story because she kind of went through a transformation. She really evolved and she really grew as a person. And I loved just being along for that journey. I thought this was so well written. All the characters were really well developed, and really interesting, and they all had their unique personalities, their unique tones of voices. They were just all very well written, especially Linda. The author, I feel like, knew Linda's character very well and just really leaned into it. So I really want to say more, but there's not really much I could say without spoiling anything. I could go on and on about this book and pick it apart and just really, it's almost like a character study. It was just so well written. Came together really well in the end. Came together in the best way. Just, I loved it. I would recommend to anybody that loves weird literary fiction, romance, like weird romance. Just really good. Next up, we have Birthday Party Demon by Wendy Dalrymple. This is a book club pick for Katrina Brown's book club, and this was so fun. I had a blast with this. It was definitely nostalgic. It had so many references to various different things from the 90s, and like because they're having a sleepover party, one of them gets possessed and accidentally traps the other two in a fashion catalog. So things go very awry at this slumber party. You know, one friend's possessed, the other two are trapped in a fashion catalog, and it's just a whole situation. The slumber party took me back to my teen self, took me back to my sleepover parties with my friends, the exact same shit we used to do with all the snacks and you know, the cheesy stuff we used to get into. I freaking loved it. It had all the references to all the things from the 90s that I used to enjoy, and yeah, all the nostalgia was there. It was perfect as far as that goes. I loved it. Had so much fun. There was a scene of light as a feather, stiff as a board that was hilarious. I'm not going to say anything about it, but it was friggin' hysterical. I laughed out loud. It was so funny. Yeah, it was really funny. But yeah, it was over the top. It was original. It was just a freaking blast. Loved the teen girl friendship, and just loved all their that whole demonic possession thing. This is like the YA Fear Street pink horror version of My Best Friend's Exorcism. So, but it was really fun. I had a good time with it. It was quirky and fun. I'm not gonna say anything else about that one just because it's so short and I don't want to ruin anything. Oh, I forgot to show you, I have my purple hoodie on today. These are so cozy. Like, I've been wearing it around because the mornings are kind of cool. I think that's all. Sorry this was shorter. Sorry I didn't get a lot of clips. Sorry I didn't get a lot of as much footage. But yeah. Moving, man. Hopefully we'll be here for at least a year. We should be buying after this. So fingers crossed. Hopefully this one works out. Things are already going better than the apartment, that's for sure, because we had an issue with the outlets, and I texted the lady and she sent somebody the same day, and I was like, whoa, this is different. Because the apartments, we had problems and it took them a month and a half, and they were major problems, and it took them a month and a half, and that's only because I threatened to call corporate. So anyways, already going better. Update on the move. That's all the old school April stuff, so if you don't hear about this, feel free to cut it off. But updates on the move. We did get moved and still unpacking. Don't have too much left to unpack. Just like, I don't have anything on the walls. Like, it's still not cozy. I'm one of those people that I have to have a cozy space. Like, it's very much affects my mental health if I don't have a cozy space, because I'm here all day. So it's like really bugging me. The bookshelves are up. It's not 100% put together the way I want it. I lost my corner. Bummed, because I feel like it really affects the aesthetic of my videos if I don't have the corner. It's just not the right angle if I don't have it. I don't know how to get the chair right. I might not even have a chair anymore. Like, maybe I don't do that because I can't get it right. Don't know how to do the lava lamp. Like, I don't know. Everything's changed. I haven't decided how I'm going to put it. Issues. The, what do you call it? The ceilings are this. The whole house. So, my bookshelves are Billy bookcases, and with the top extension, they're like 8 feet tall. So the ceilings here, they will fit with the extender at certain parts, but not through the whole house. So I had to make a decision. Do I want the extension and have it in one of the main areas, my bookshelves, or do I want to chop off the top section of my bookshelves and have it in like the small, like one of the small rooms. Secondly, small rooms, they put vents in really weird places. And unfortunately, that affects where I could put the shelves too. Like, I'm very limited on what walls I can put them on because of these stupid locations they put the vents. It's really weird. So I was limited on that. And then they put, like, where the doors are located and things like that limited me. And then ceilings limited me. So I was just very limited. So it took me over a week to figure. That's why I didn't have a video last week, because I was trying to decide where I wanted them. I only wanted to do it once. I didn't want to move them. So things are weird. Things are really weird. There was zero corners that would work. Zero. Didn't matter if I wanted with the extender, without. There were no corners because of where windows and stuff were. So that was the struggle. I was trying to stay positive and just, figure it out. I decided to keep the extenders and keep the bookshelves in like part of the main space, and then take the extenders off and put the other part in the office area, because at the apartment I had a built-in bookcase. I've lost that because it was part of the apartment. Even with that and the extenders on my bookshelves, I was overflowing with books. So yeah, and I don't have any that I can get rid of because they're either ones that I love or ones that I haven't read. So I can't get rid of any right now. And I can't buy more bookshelves right now either because we just moved and it's expensive. So I'm at a position where I'm gonna have my bookshelves here, one's in there with the tops off, so I've lost that, and I've lost a built-in bookcase. So I'm gonna have books in piles places. I just had to figure out which ones were gonna be, voted off the island and not be on the bookshelves right now. Which ones I don't mess with too much, So that's where we are. The location is better. It's in the middle of nowhere. I say better, it's better for the kids. I may die out here. not literally. I'm not a country girl at all. I don't know what to do with myself out here. It's weird. And I like the quiet. The quiet's good, but like, I don't know what to do without the convenience. I'm used to convenience. I'm used to being able to just go down the street and get what I need, or I'm used to having stuff nearby. I'm used to being able to just go to book club or go to the library, or go to stuff. And now I can't, and it's weird. So I have to get used to that. We are getting used to like going to get everything we need all in one trip when we go to the grocery store, which is like 30 minutes away. And we're getting used to, we're trying to lump everything together. Like the kids, they have appointments. I'm trying to like lump all their appointments all in one day to where I don't have to make multiple trips because it's so far and stuff like that. It's just, we gotta figure out the best way, and it's a challenge, and it's like, we just gotta get used to it. It's weird. I'm farther away from my doctors, so I've been trying to lump all them together and trying to work with them. Like they like to make me do all these appointments. Like they'll be like, oh, I recently had to have an x-ray, and they're like, let's do an x-ray, and then if we don't see what we need in the x-ray, we'll have you do an MRI. So the x-ray has been sent to them, and I messaged them. I said, hey, can you look at that x-ray and tell me if I'm going to need an MRI before I do the appointment, because I only want to do one trip. So I'm trying to get them to work with me, because I told them, I said, it's an hour and a half drive to get to you. Can you look at the x-ray before I go and see if I'm going to need an MRI to where I can make it one trip? Because the MRI is closer to me. Like I can do the MRI over here. I say over here, it's like 30 minutes. But let's do the MRI, and then let's do it all one together, and then then you can look at both of them at the same time and not make me have to drive an hour and a half twice. Like if you need an MRI, you've already got the x-rays. I know you did, because they sent it to you. I've already got the results. So anyhow, it's stuff like that we're getting used to. It's hard. Everybody else is cool with living in the middle of nowhere. My husband's from Louisiana, and he's fine with it. He likes living in the middle of nowhere. It's weird for me, but I did it for the kids, and I did it for my sanity too, because the apartments were so freaking loud. But I don't have to worry about it. I can film anytime now. There's no noise at all because there's nobody here. But anyhow, I'll show you a little clip of my view if you want to know. It's much better, but yeah, clip of the view, and then it's not, you can't tell where I live from the view. But yeah, I'll show you that and show you the other video. Show you a few clips. Eventually, soon, I will probably give you like a little bookshelf tour. It's gonna be like 2 different rooms, but it's okay. We're working with what we have. Otherwise, next week I will give you week 2 of Old School April, and you'll also be getting my March reading wrap up soon too. Didn't read as many as I wanted to because of moving. I think I read like 8, maybe 9. I don't know. Anyhow, I will see you next Friday. Bye for now.